Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Singh Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
Challenges on the Western campus and students going hungry. Topics we're covering tonight on The Cities. Today we're bringing you our program from the Western Illinois University campus in the Quad Cities. And never before has this university faced such a dilemma. This school is entering its third year with virtually no money from the state. It's a challenge for everyone on campus, including its leader, President Jack Thomas. Dr. Thomas joined us to talk about that and the future of higher education in Illinois. So here we are, starting a third year without a budget. University, almost the way you've talked in the past, has to operate as a private institution now.
Yes, well, we have not gotten a state appropriation, and as you stated, we're entering the third year now without a full appropriation. A couple of past 2 years, we've gotten some stopgaps, but we have not gotten a full budget. And right now, we're looking forward to what happens in Springfield, and we're acting more like a private institution. We're still going to maintain our mission as a public institution in terms of providing access to those students who meet our standards, as well as trying to keep education more affordable.
Let's be honest, when I started talking to you about this 2.5 years ago, you made it sound like, okay, this is just political ramifications, this will all get solved. Then you sounded more frustrated. Now you almost sound angry. I mean, do university leaders have your emotions just worn out and you just are fed up with what's going on both sides of the aisle?
Absolutely. I think we all are fed up with what's happening on both sides of the aisle. And in my testimonies before the House and also before the Senate, I have encouraged them, as well as the other presidents and chancellors from the other institutions, to come up with some kind of agreement so that we can get a state appropriation. This is unheard of. It is unprecedented, and we have not seen anything like this. 2.5 years ago, when you and I talked, we thought it would just be for just a short period of time, but we've never thought that it would go this long.
Because let's be honest, political brinkmanship is common when it comes to budgeting. I mean, the legislatures all over do it in the 11th hour. They come to the agreements, but this has gone beyond that. Politico reporting that they see that Illinois could become a failed state. And what was interesting about that article in Politico was that they said the average Illinois person is angry about it, but they're still getting their roads fixed, and the young kids are still getting an education. The older kids are not, though. So do you have a feeling that you've been used as a pawn, but that it's almost acceptable not to fund the university system in Illinois?
Well, it's still unacceptable, and we are being used as pawns. And right now, we're doing all that we can do to continue to provide the same kind of quality and high level of education that we have done in the past, and we're having to make lots of adjustments in order to do that.
Let's talk about those, because you have a preliminary agreement on a budget plan, but you haven't been able to give a whole lot of specifics. Are you getting closer to being able to specify what it's going to look like in the coming school year?
Well, we have some triggers in place and contingency plans that we have in place in case we do not get a budget. At certain points, we then enact some of those. Over the years, the couple of past 2 years, we've had furloughs, we've had layoffs, we've had salary reductions. We reduced our number of majors and offering, as well as we've cut back on a lot of different things. We've combined units, and we've done all that we can do. And when we went to Springfield, the last time we went to Springfield was on a Sunday afternoon during Memorial Day weekend. And they asked us what could we cut. And
being who?
The legislators. We were before the House.
Okay.
And I stated, as well as my colleagues have stated, that we'll cut to the bare bone. We've done all that we can do. Now the action should take place in Springfield. And we hope that they feel the pressure that we're feeling in higher education in the state of Illinois.
Now, you walk away from a meeting like that, you get a lot of yeses and a lot of, oh yeah, we feel your pain. Is that all you get?
For the most part, yes. And when we go around and talk to the various legislators, they say that they understand, they feel our pain, and they understand what we're going through, but just hold on. We, at some point, hopefully, we will come to an agreement, and one side points at the other side. But still, we get no state appropriation, and it's very disheartening to us now.
So what are your options right now? Because you said you're going to have triggers, but what about long-term planning? You're just trying to get day-to-day and keep the lights on, but you're also tasked with planning the future of this university.
Absolutely. We have a strategic plan in place called Higher Values in Higher Education, and we have met with the trustees. We'll be coming up in a couple of weeks to have the retreat with the Board of Trustees as well as my leadership team, and we're making plans during those times. We do have a strategic plan in place where we're supposed to implement certain things, but a lot of that is on hold right now because of the budget impasse and the stalemate in Springfield. But at the same time, we do have to come forth with plans to continue to move the university forward. And that's when I stated that we're going to have to act more like a private institution where we're doing more fundraising. We have what we call the President's Executive Institute, where I have, along with some of my people on my staff, Joe Reeves, the Vice President for Quad Cities and Planning, and Becky Paulson. We've been going to various entities in the region. We've had the Mayor's Summit, where we're partnering with the mayors throughout the region, as well as high schools and superintendents and principals and counselors, so we can work with them in terms of the needs of the students of the high schools, as well as getting more students to come to Western Illinois University that will help with recruitment. But at the same time, we're trying to do more fundraising that will help offset some of the challenges that we are facing. It will not help take care of all of the shortfall, but it will help us. We just have to do business a little different from what we have done in the past.
I want to talk about enrollment in a moment, but is this the new normal then? If you're able to get fundraising, if you're able to find private-public partnerships, if you're able to get away with keeping the lights on without state appropriations, how does one say, well, then why should we give you state appropriations at the level that you had before?
Well, we still need that state funding. We've gone, let's say for FY16, we went the entire year with only about $17 million. And that is, our normal state appropriation is around $52 million. So that is a drastic fall or shortfall that we have to make up. We had a reserve in place, and we've utilized that reserve. We've got to build that back up as well as making sure that we move forward with some of the plans that we have in our strategic plan. And as I stated, many of those things are on hold right now. And so we got to refurbish and do some of those kinds of things. And then we want to get back to that enrollment that we once had at our university, that growth that we once had. And all of this has created a crisis of confidence in our state and in higher education in general. So as leaders of public institutions, and not just public institutions, the privates are going through similar things in terms of the lack of not having the MAP funding, as well as our community colleges. We're all feeling it. And so we're just having to do business a little different from what we've done before, a lot different.
I know this has to pain you, Western's enrollment falling below 10,000 for the first time. I mean, what does that say in regards to the state funding crisis? I mean, do you have a feeling, like you said, there is a lack of confidence among some parents, among some students? Why go to Western, Eastern, or Southern, or Northern? if the funding's not there? I mean, is that what you see as the long-term impact of this short-sighted lack of funding?
Well, it's definitely had an impact on all of us, all of the institutions in the state, not just Western and Eastern and others, but all of us. And our goal is to make sure that we continue to provide that quality and well-rounded education that we provide for our students. We want to make sure that this doesn't affect the quality of the education. We're still doing some great things. We have to keep that in mind as well. We still rank high in U.S. News and World Report as the best Midwestern university, about the Princeton Review, GI Jobs magazine as a military-friendly institution, Military Time Edge magazine as a best for vets institution, and the number of Fulbrights we have, and an institution like ours, we've been noted by Higher Ed for the number of students that we graduate that come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. So Western has a great history and tradition, and we're still doing some of those things, many of those things now, in spite of not having a state appropriation. And that's the reason I state that we have to do more fundraising and we have to cut back on certain things. We have what we call our signature academic programs. An institution cannot be everything to everybody, but an institution can carve its own niche. And that's what we have done. And we're going to have to continue to carve that niche with funding from business and industry. So and I designated a position now for a person, one of our development officers, who will be geared more time to corporate fundraising. Becky Paulson will be doing that and working closely with me.
First big deadline, July 1st, is when the state budget should be enacted and in place, and it probably isn't going to be. Is that when the first of the Western triggers kick in? Is that when you first start doing some of the things that you said you're going to have to do?
Well, that's a trigger where we would have to start looking at some of those things. We're very hopeful. Actually, I just had a phone call now with with the presidents and chancellors, my colleagues, as well as some legislators. There's some movement in Springfield, so we're very hopeful that we will get something before July 1.
Something? What does that mean? I mean, something could be the 17 million, but probably not the 54. You're probably thinking somewhere in between.
Well, I'm hoping for a full state appropriation. We cannot continue to go on for 2.5 years without getting a full state appropriation. But with not receiving anything from the state, we'll take a stopgap right now as well. But we will still be advocating for full funding.
The time for talk is done? Now is the time for some action?
Absolutely. And we've been in Springfield. My government liaison, Jeanette Malafa, is doing a good job there. She gets me to the table, as well as with the governor, as well as other legislators. We have gone to Springfield as a group, collectively, the presidents and chancellors. We've had lots of meetings, and right now it's time to stop talking. And it's time to start working together to come up with a full state appropriation.
Dr. Jack Thomas. In a moment, making sure students on this campus get a good meal. It's harder than you may think for some. But first, Laura Adams joins us with great ideas for you and your family if you're going out and about.
This is Out and About for June 19th through 25th. Hi, I'm Laura Adams. Join WQPT at the ballpark as we bring Clifford the Big Red Dog to bark in the park with the Clinton Lumber Kings on June 25th in Clinton, Iowa. And speaking of dogs, kids can read to a dog at the Davenport Public Library on Eastern, Mondays at 5 p.m. Catch the spectacular Backwater Gamblers water ski shows in Rock Island, and Bishop Hill's Midsummer Music Festival returns the 24th with a main stage musical performances, a Swedish maypole celebration, and an old-fashioned barn dance. Join It's a Mystery for Murder in the Double Wide at Skellington Manor in Rock Island on the 23rd. Reservations required. The Midwest Writing Center welcomes 4 award-winning writers and a successful literary agent to lead workshops at the David R. Collins Writers Conference beginning June 22nd. The second annual QC Pickleball Charity Tournament for the American Cancer Society takes place at the Quad City Tennis Club in Moline on June 24th. The Monmouth Public Square is the site for pottery on the square in Monmouth on the 24th. And Blossoms at Butterworth is traditional family-friendly summer fun at the Butterworth Center and Dear Wyman House, featuring live music, games, antiques, cars, and more. Snapshots, a musical scrapbook with songs by Stephen Schwartz, continues on the Circa 21 stage. And Comedy Sports isn't a comedy about sports, it's comedy played as a sport. Enjoy the improvisational fun at the Establishment Theater. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. Our music spotlight shines on singer Ren Edstrom, part of the WQPT program that's called Originals at RME. While at the River Music Experience, Ren sang his song titled Dream.
Never thought I could find a woman like you. Never thought I could feel the way I do. You know, I thought you were just a dream. Nothing could feel as good, or so it seems. So gentle, I love your smile, it shines so brightly. I love your voice, it sounds like heaven. I have no choice but to love you forever. Babe, I love you forever. Girl, I love you forever. Walking under the moon tonight, next to your eyes, it's not so bright, but my soul shines in your presence, girl. You are my everything, you are my world. They're so gentle. I love your smile, it shines so brightly. I love your voice, it sounds like heaven. I have no choice but to love you forever. Babe, I love you forever. Girl, I love you forever. Feel like home. You know I would rather just be alone. I don't want any other. You're my best friend, girl. You are my lover. You're my dream come true, and I love you, and I love gentle. I love your smile. It shines so brightly. I love your voice. It sounds like heaven. I have no choice but to love you forever. Babe, I love you forever. Girl, I love you forever.
Ren Edstrom and Dream. Here at Western, you might think this campus only focuses on a student's education, challenging them to learn more, but some of these students face challenges each and every day. That includes having a good meal, and now the school has opened a food pantry to make sure its students are able to make ends meet. And the person in charge of that is Dan Dankert, who joined us to talk about the food pantry at Western. So where did the idea come from?
So I started in my position in August of 2016, and I think I was here about a week when my two supervisors, Audrey Adamson and Scott Brouette, came to me with the idea of starting a food pantry on campus.
Now, is this unusual? Because let's be honest, we've all been struggling students. You know, I mean, I've had starvation weekends where you couldn't afford food. But is this a bigger problem than just running out of money at the end of the week?
So this is a national trend we're seeing. The Colleges and University Food Bank Alliance has over 400 members, and we've even seen a growth in the amount of college food pantries in the area. So for example, we started our pantry in the past year. Augustana College is currently going through the motions to set up a food pantry there, and even Blackhawk Community College has one in the area as well.
What does that say?
It's telling me that college students are facing a larger and larger problem with food insecurity as college prices continue to increase.
Absolutely. Have you been surprised by either the turnout of people seeking your help or the level of support you've gotten from the community and others have donated?
I think it's a case of both. I think I've had some very interesting conversations with students who've come in. I had an individual at the beginning of summer, and this person came in and they told me they were working a 40-hour-a-week internship this summer. Plus, they were doing school on top of it. So conservatively, this person was spending 50, maybe 60 hours between school and their internship. And how are they supposed to try to find a way to bring money in and put food on the table? So we were able to connect them with quite a few resources, not only in our own food pantry, but connect them with food pantries in the area to make sure they had everything they needed to be successful this summer and to continue on their path toward graduation.
And this isn't just during the 9-month school year, this is year-round, is it not?
Yeah, so we weren't originally going to have it open this summer, but we felt compelled to have it open this summer as we had a large amount of turnout near the end of the year. So we're open 3 days a week during the summer, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 3 to 4 p.m. where students can come in and get the resources they need.
And are you surprised at how many people are coming in?
I was very surprised at the end of the school year. We were combined with not only the students coming in, but the amount of people in their family. We were affecting conservatively 7 to 10 people per week, which for a small school with how recently we opened, I was very surprised by the almost instant turnout we had.
So how does somebody qualify? I mean, if you're thinking that you're a Western student and you can't make ends meet, what do you do? What is the process?
Stop by room 2412 in the Quad Cities complex when we have open hours. Bring your student ID. You have to fill out a brief application, which is just so that we can keep track of the usage that's going on in our pantry. And then we'll go through and you can select items from the different food categories we had, and we'll get you out of there in 10 to 15 minutes with 15 or more pounds of food.
And the food is coming from Riverbend Food Bank, but is it not coming from donations, individual donations as well?
So actually, we haven't been able to tap into Riverbend
see,
Food
okay.
Bank.
So it is
yet as
all
a
through
resource.
donations.
So all of the food that we've had came from students, faculty, and staff. So our big kickoff was actually a food drive competition we had here on campus, where the different student organizations competed against each other to see who could raise the most amount of food. And we actually had an organization in the last hour come in with a huge donation of over 100 pounds to take the lead. So that really provided us with an amazing foundation. But we've also had just staff members who will drop by my office and say, I want to help be a part of this movement, because when I was a college student, or when I was a young adult at that time, they were having problems with it as well, with food insecurity. And I've had faculty members drop off bags and bags of food to help make sure that we have everything we need to provide students with a good, healthy selection variety of food.
So on the opposite end, if somebody wants to help, how do they go about doing that?
Well, you can contact me, or you Facebook message our Facebook page, which is WIUQC Food Pantry. Just send me a quick message saying you want to donate to our efforts here, and I'll make sure to select a time where we can meet up and we can bring in your food and make sure that we're getting it to students.
It's great that you're having a success. It's sad that you're having a success.
Yeah.
But it's also important that you're having an impact. And do you feel that?
Yeah, definitely. So my position here at Western is actually through AmeriCorps, and more specifically, it's through a subgroup called VISTA. And the ultimate goal of AmeriCorps VISTA is to eliminate poverty. And though the elimination of poverty is improbable, and if it happens, it'll take course over a long period of time, I can't be happier with this program and how I can make a daily impact in students' lives, and how I've seen students who, with this help, have been able to focus more on school and be able to do like those internships and things. And even though I'm not able to eliminate poverty on a large scale, for those individual students, I might be helping to continue their education, to continue their path towards gainful employment, and hopefully for them, I'm helping eliminate poverty in their individual life. So it's been a blessing working here in the past 11 months, and hopefully I'll be working with Western going forward in the coming years as well.
Dan Dankert, thanks so much for joining us. Now, the Vietnam Memorial Wall is coming to the cities next month. We're hosting the Wall That Heals, a half-scale replica of the memorial dedicated to Vietnam veterans and those who died in that war. It's accompanied by a mobile education center that'll be located here on the Western campus. The opening ceremony, July 27th, and we'll tell you more about this special event in the weeks to come. But we also want to see if you'll be able to help us. We're looking for volunteers that'll be part of the 3-day display. And you can learn more and register to volunteer by heading to our website at WQPT.org. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.